Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect, where in the previous episode we put in the Cell Block D auxiliary unit in, and that's a long way of saying I put in the canteen, yard and common room, and then we went ahead and added in some more flooring in the yard. When I say flooring I mean grass. Technically it is a kind of floor unless it's on the ceiling, and then we also added in the prayer mats as well, so that's all sorted. We also got a fairly big intake, and it mainly consisted of the criminally insane inmates and apparently a door that really doesn't want to open because there won't be enough guards to go and sort these out. That, I guess, is the slight problem when we don't have any automatic door opening solution systems, which we may or may not get in at some point. Let me speed up to max speed there. Going to go over to, I think, staff and then guards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because quite frankly with 45 plus 1,000 monies we can probably get it done. Anyway, in this episode what I want to do is probably go ahead and plan off the solitary area, put in some more walkways as well for this steel footbridge, and overall just, I guess, continue on with the buildings. Let's do that. Let's go over to flooring and then to the concrete tiles here. What I want to do is probably run this down as much as we can, and then we'll say go across and then down to there. Obviously there's a lot of spaces that we just haven't added, but we will get to that at some point. This center section here, actually no, let's go to grass, and I'm going to put in the nice green spaces that will be in between these areas because that's what we originally intended, so we will do just that. You may notice that this wall here is not entirely where it probably should have been. This originally should have been one further up, and that's exactly where it was, but we had to move it down because stuff was being thrown over the wall because I was counting the fences as the spaces needed, but it doesn't. You need a gap of 10 from this edge, not including the walls, which is where we had the problem there. Anyway, let's go ahead and to a quick building cloning, and we are going to clone all of these. So let's just go ahead and see if we can get it right. There we go. This is going to be our new psychiatrist offices. I'm just going to go over to staff and to the psychiatrist and get 2 more of those. Obviously they do require the office, but that'll be sorted once they are built. We should also put the flooring in here, but I think, you know, priorities. We'll go for the solitary. I say priorities, I've just spent loads of money on some grass, but there you are. Anyway, and ooh, that is definitely needs of a groundskeeper, gardener, 1, 2, and let's actually we'll put up to 3 as well. I know we are really hemorrhaging money at this point, but actually not too bad. We do have a lot of prisoners go through the parole system and be released. I think I got 12 grand at the start of this day, which was surprising to say the least. I'm just going to double check the deployment, actually, make sure that is all staff only. Yes, that is correct. We also have the visitor's direction. You can see the visitor's direction is set so they go along that way just to get to these parole areas. I'm not entirely sure whether or not it works, but you know, at least the intent was there. We do have some programs running. We are running the foundation education course as well as the general education course because we do have a grant for the Reform Through Education initiative. Most of that money we've already siphoned off anyway, but we will get the grant completion bonus. We have a prisoner manufacturing facility to produce license plates. I mean, we can't even produce the ability to walk over a bridge at this state, so I'm not really too worried about that getting done. We also have the raise the prisoner capacity to 200. Well, we're on 104, and that'll probably go up to about maybe perhaps around the sort of 120 mark when we're considering we'll eventually have this protective custody area, but we'll see. I can see that this person here is... I was going to say, why have they got like a sort of Iron Man glowing chest, but that's actually the light right above them, but you can see they are, yes, they are fulfilling their spirituality needs by... well, it looks like to be some sort of extreme yoga on that prayer mat because they're sort of going around all over the place, but we'll not judge. That might be their religion. And what else is happening around here? Looks like we have a very dirty set of floors around here once again. How many orderlies do we have, actually? We have a total of 6 orderlies. We're going to go up to 10 because we like wasting money. Yeah, very laid back. And we also have the officers in now as well. So if we go over to our programs, we can see that. If we go down, we have the psychiatric consultation. 8 finished, 8 treated. 100% pass rate. If we start any more of those, it really doesn't matter because nobody's in the queue. So maybe this is a waste. I'll tell you what, I am actually going to sack. I know I've just hired them, but I think I'm going to sack. So, last in, first out, that's the procedure. And apparently there's a... No, there's not. I very, very much doubt that there's a tunnel there. Yeah, I'll get rid of those because I just don't think we need it. I'm still working out the ratios for things around here. Right, so let's go over to planning and let's roughly plan off. I do stress roughly plan off the protective custody area. Sorry, the protective custody is here. We want solitary area. So solitary, I think I want to have it similar to that where we have at least a toilet in there. So if we are going to assume that there's going to be a gap of 2 all the way around because we can. Actually, I guess it wouldn't be that. It would actually be the building would be that, wouldn't it? Because we need a gap of 2 around there, and that'd be the size of building. That is a very large building for solitary. In fact, it's far too large for what we need. So we could make it something else. We could, just putting it out there, we could sort of, if we wanted to, technically, maybe, perhaps, ever so much have a bit of a workshop in there. Today's beverage is green tea. Just put out there, just you know, not committing to the idea or anything, but it might be a thing to consider. What I'm going to do is remove the section here, go right across, have 2 buildings. This is solitary. This is a space that we could perhaps put things in. How committal of me. Anyway, let's work out sort of how this solitary area is going to go. Is that the way forward? Well, it's a direction. And it would actually fit in. Okay. Alright, right. Let's continue on with the theme of messing up the planning. I mean, why spoil a 7-year channel habit? And that goes up to there. Now. The centre. That's going to be a bit of an issue. No, it perfectly fits in. Well, when fate comes a knocking, you don't ask questions like that. When something fits in perfectly, you just roll with it like that. You just go, yeah, that's fine. If it fits, it sits. And yeah, that's it. That's the one. Sometimes you just can't. You just don't argue. Just move on. Just accept facts. Move on. It's probably wrong. I've probably got one bit of the planning wrong, and it's all kinds problematic. But we shall see. So we want a. Actually, I think we'll probably put a solitary door, 2 of, on the side there, and then obviously these are going to be planned off, and then we'll build. What I could do, however, I think is no. I was going to say I'll remove this. End one. Instead we'll have a connector so they can go around, but quite frankly we don't need to do it, and also if it ever kicks off, at least they're sort of separate. Okay, so we have 30 grand in the bank. We have a positive income of 3,487. Obviously that's plus and minus any releases and things like that, and we do have people arriving as well. What I'm going to do is go over to our intake here and turn off the criminally insane intake, because I like to have a bit of extra spare space. It looks like all of these are nice and clean now, which I'm very happy to see. It looks like there's only a couple of people with... Oh, that's a bit worrying. So there's Jerome there. Andrew Jerem, prison number 41169006, sentenced to 5 years for perjury. And it says criminally insane inmates feel constant level of suppression and require padded cells and psychiatric help to keep them calm. Criminally insane inmates that ignite may attack our staff, cause damage to their prison, or attempt to break free, as well as other unpredictable behaviours, which apparently in this particular behaviour is to look like someone from the 70s. If we go over to experience, no program history to speak of, which is surprising considering their level of agitation. I would have thought that at this stage they would have went to the psychiatrist, but it looks like they haven't. So that's actually, I think, the highest rating we've seen there. Let's have a quick look at their grading. Health is actually minus because they have 1 active addictions, and because they're shouting for alcohol, I'm going to guess they are not addicted to golf or something. No, I think it's the sauce. Yeah. Anyway, let's just double check in here. It looks like that has been built fairly successfully. Let me go over to the walls here, and the question is, do I build and then clone it? The answer is that, well, I've started, so I'm just going to crack on. I think it would be a decent time to do a full shakedown because, well, quite frankly, I think it's about time, and there's the end of that conversation. Let's just finish this off before I click the button. Being a maverick, doing it slightly different ways, and that's probably not done. But we're going to do a shakedown. We now have 546 places to search. That's because of the addition of other things. And as redundant statements go, that one is quite up there. It's things like bits around here and some of the other places that we've added in as well. So we are searching, we are finding several items. We have one club, a shank, 2 sets of knives, a needle, 2 pairs of scissors, booze, 5 bottles of poison, which I'm guessing can be nicked from the cleaning cupboard. 4 packets of cigarettes, 1 saw, 1 screwdriver, 1 drug, 1 hammer, 1 drill, 5 ropes, a sedative shot, 1 of, and a sedative syringe. So let me just see where those have been nicked from. Well, you can see all of the ropes because it's just tied together clothing. That's to be expected. Same again from... oh, from there. All the poison. But what is surprising is the clubs. Ah! Yes, clubs can be stolen from the cleaning cupboard. Basically, they snap the head off the mop. Yeah. And they use one as a disguise, one of a weapon. I guess the mop head isn't in the game. Bit of a shame. Classic prisoner disguise, mop head. And, yeah, you can see where the other stuff's been... oh, yeah, set of shots are now added in the infirmary. I would assume, perhaps wrongly, that the same is in here. And that just says needle, medicine, and contraband. Just plus contraband. Do I click it and adds? No, that doesn't work. Good. Yeah, so just... generic amounts of contraband being stolen from there, or can be stolen from there, and looks like we found a tunnel. Glad we found that tunnel because that was the sort of these are the sort of danger cells. Because of digging from there and up is it's the ones closest to the edge that you have to worry about. Anyway, so we're finding loads of stuff. The drill, I can only assume that that's been brought in. Just looking for the drill. I think that might be it there. You can see the blue bottom of it. Smuggled in. Yeah, so it's just been smuggled in and detected. You can see the supply of weapons, narcotics, and luxuries are at 0. However, there is still 1 or 2 tools. Yeah, there's a lot. Trade prices are really high. This is a seller's market at the moment. Anyway, so we have got this now in. Let's go over to our electrical cable, and we need to run that in. Now, I'm just going to double check the grid. It looks like the grids are about even, but the darker green is not only closer, it is it's running a little bit lower than the others. What I'm going to do is run this across like so, because eventually we'll be building the cookers as well, so that should hopefully connect all those up. Speaking of connections, we will have to run in the small pipe, but only after I've designated these as solitary and went ahead and added in the toilets. So I'll put those in. That is now sorted. Objects, toilet, and we'll place these in like so. I'm going to unpause it while they crack on with all of the building. We may have to add some more lighting in, because a lot of the lighting was removed when we placed all of the walls. So we'll see about that one. And in terms of the door, we are going to use the secure door. Now, I just to make sure... I don't actually think it matters which way the door is. That is, I think, about right. I've just paused it for a moment there, because this says there's a tunnel, and I'm a bit concerned that it's going to be a real tunnel. Could be. fact that Fletcher's just walked it and then seems to be walking walking along what could be the intended pathway for it is concerning. But we'll leave that. Oh, I was going to say there's an overdose there, but it's not. It's just someone have drugs. I'm guessing the person that's handed to them is not exactly super sleuth. And yeah, just here you go. Just hands over a massive brick. There you go, or a cake. This is definitely not drugs. Slides it across the table. Yeah, okay. Not exactly subtle there, are you, mate? One thing that I should have added, and people have pointed this out several times, but I should have really acted on it sooner, is that we haven't had... Well, we've only had the one... we've only had the one wash thing in here. Wash thing? That's a sink. That's what I meant. Yeah, we've only had the one sink in since we started, which is why it's taken ages to wash stuff up. So yes, I think it's better that we add some more there. Speaking of adding, I'm looking at this and I don't know whether we need more things in here. We do have 12 cooks. That's more than sufficient. Whether or not we need to add more in here, I don't know. The problem is that we're serving high quantity and high variety meals, and on top of that, we have the deliveries all over the facility. So most of the time of the cooks is occupied with basically moving from the kitchen to the canteen. But I mean, it's done in fairly decent order. If I'm going to check these out, I'm just trying to see. It's currently eat time, but none of them have the well-fed trait. Oh yes, yeah, there's some well-feds in there. Yeah, so there are some well-fed traits there. Double check the grading there. Health is still not gone up. In fact, it looks like everything is pretty much the same as before. 92 prisoners being released with a 7% reoffending rate. So that has dropped down by 1 single percent. So that's fine. Let's put up to max speed and let people crack on. We have the... What? Okay, I don't know what happened there, but that's a bit of that missing. And we're also getting, I think, erroneous results for that. But we might do a proper shakedown. No, probably just a tunnel search. We've got the ability to do it, so we'll probably do it. Speaking of tunnels, in a roundabout way, we do need to place the toilet pipe work in, which should be quite an easy thing to do. I've just extended the pipe from the laundry through the kitchen. Originally it had small pipes in there. Oh, there you go. You can see now that we have a lot more people cleaning, which is excellent, because that was a sort of bit of a problem there. And we've just received loads of money, and I'm guessing it's because of the parole. Yes, 9 grand for early release. We do, as you can see, have the 4 paroles, with low-risk prisoners being... low risk. They do tend to happily go to parole and go through the system very quickly. And once again, the orderlies really don't like their assigned jobs. In fact, they want to be far away from these prisoners as possible, which is not good. Anyway, 31 grand, which is a very nice amount. Let me start placing some flooring in here. And speaking of flooring, we have lots of options for the flooring. We haven't really gone with any particular theme. The theme was have it a bit more, a bit less regimented that we normally go for, a lot more green space. So we've got like these bits here, which I did plan on originally putting trees in, and I will do that eventually, just haven't got around to it. I don't know what flooring we want to use in here. I do like this flooring, this industrial flooring here, but I don't think it's very fitting for this one. No, I don't think it's the carpet. Luna is probably not the way to go. Great might be good. Give our prison floors a high-tech look. Well, we've only just discovered electricity, so I don't think high-tech look is what we really need. Probably going to go with the metal floor, but I do want to try that grate. Let me try the grate. We'll see, it can only be not great, I guess. So let's see what it is like. Some lights there stuck on that wall. I'm guessing... Oh, I guess wrong. The storage is full. Okay, so the chief is calling. According to some of our guards, a new radio host on the station the prisoners listen to has been saying a lot of things that are riling the inmates up. Like what? Do you want to give an example? Like Rolo yogurt are the best yogurt? I mean, I don't know, I've never had one, but... next. It might be worth removing radios from the time being. Oh, very assertive. So my head of security is advising it might be worth removing it. Won't give me an exact detail on exactly what was being said on the radio, nor is very committal about exactly what we should do. So, I mean, if you want, he's saying. I mean, you might want to. I don't know if it's for you. He's saying, okay, next. Yeah, the radio broadcasts are riding the emits up. The only radios we have are... we don't have any radios. Well, there's the end of that chat. We don't actually have any radios in the facility. Do we? None of these cells. These are televisions, which are like Radio Plus. And... the only radios we have are in the staff room. And what's that all about? Look at that there. It's not... do you know what that might be? Why is that? Is it just because of the... it's burnt? No. That's all it was. For some reason. Yeah. So the only radios we have in the facility are in the staff room. Because these are TVs. Yeah. And bookshelf. Yeah, okay, fine. So, there's the end of that. Good grief. That bridge is seeing some traffic. So, we have... oh, that's actually quite nice. I don't particularly mind that. In fact, I would go as far as saying I quite like it. Let's put it in here, because I've been meaning to add this floor in for quite some time. So, concrete tiles, place that there, place that on either side there. We're going to do the same on here and there. And on that section, we want to do the same in here and do that. That is now fine. For the shower, we will use white tiles. Clicky, clicky, draggy, draggy. Same thing in the canteen, which we will place like so. Actually, did the things over here place correctly? Yes, they did, yeah. There's a little bit of a glitch when it came to the hand dryers and the wash basins, but they are now all sorted. For the common room, we did use some of this carpet, the brown carpet, which we will place in this common room. In the holding cell, we used... good grief, these are messy eaters. Okay. Apparently one of the programs you should be able to run is table manners. Nice. In the holding cell here... the added holding cell, it's actually padded. We will go for padded. That would make perfect sense. Padded for all of these. Like so. And probably a brown carpet. I mean, it hides the dirt, doesn't it, the brown carpet. For the rest of it, brown carpet in here. And... that's a lot of money on brown carpets. Yeah. Okay. Well, that'll be fine. So it's currently sleep time. We're going to do a tunnel search. I don't think a shakedown is strictly necessary. We have 11 minimum security prisoners arriving tomorrow. I'm just going to double check. Our capacity for criminally insane is 24. We only have 20 criminally insane inmates. I wonder, on average, like how long they have. 23 years. Death by dangerous driving. 2 convictions. Plead guilty. Gross indecency. Attempted murder. Rioting and perjury. Assaulting an officer. Fraud. Oh yeah, so some of the, say 25 years, 50 criminally insane. Assault, manslaughter, violent disorder and attempted murder. Bells. Yeah, so the ratings for these criminally insane inmates are really all over the place. Sometimes it's only, like, say, 5 or 6 years, and some of it, it's 50 years and such. Strange. There's the padded flooring, and I quite like that. Along with this brown carpet, it makes it look quite old-fashioned, which is what we were sort of looking for. What I don't like is the fact that these lights are not even remotely near the centre, but it's unlikely that I'm going to redo them. Anyway, so that's in there, that's in there. We have in That done, that done, that done. Yeah, that's fine. So what I want to do is go over to our policy then, and as you can see, all of our policy for things like, well, escape attempts and that sort of thing, we always put them in lockdown. Now, even though we added in these solitary cells here, we didn't change the policy because there was no solitary for the standard rating prisoners. So now that we have this in here, and it is indeed designated as solitary, we can change this over. So for things like destruction, you get solitary. Escape attempt, solitary. Attack prisoner, attack staff, all of that's solitary. Serious injury, the sec says up. We're going to say none and none. We're not going to increase the stuff there. We do want to search the prisoner for any of this stuff. When you've got found tools, weapons, drugs, and luxuries, we're not going to search them because chances are, if you've just found those, you've done a search, or the search has been undertaken from maybe a dog smelling something smelly on them, or the metal detector going off, or a combination of both, or just down rotten luck. For intoxication, we'll have serious injury, we'll have a solitary, intoxication, solitary, and murder, the same thing. For the other ones, we'll just do a bit of lockdown. If we find luxuries, we don't even punish them. We just say, there you go. The punishment of taking the luxuries off them is sort of punishment enough. Right, we have only 835 generic units of currency. Probably enough for me to place a bit more concrete tiles around the place, so we're going to run them like so. And then sadly, we just can't get the extra section right across there, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. In less than a couple of minutes, we'll have enough money to get that built in. But as you can see, we have some prisoners, again, sort of stressing out there. I'm just going to double check our policy, or programs rather, and psychiatric consultation, 5 in the queue. Okay, so that's an issue. We're going to add a couple more in there. That should be us. There we are. There's a nice bit of intake. We've got some money, and allow me to then place that in there. That affords us that, which is fine. So we're still running the education programs. There's our intake there. We'll have a quick double check for our informants there. We've got unknown traits, but I'm guessing their trait is to be someone who can walk through walls, because they're on the other side of that, although apparently their clothes don't go with them. We have no other traits that I can see. In fact, looking around, there's a couple of unknown traits, but a couple of ex-law enforcements are not here. I'm guessing that they have managed to either go through parole, or more likely, well, I guess it's just as likely, that they've simply finished their sentence. So there we are. Right, as you can see, we have eat time once again, which someone, Mr. Piddock there, is not having a good time of it. Apparently they wanted something else other than what was on the menu. What is on the menu? Bacon, eggs, and ingredients. Apparently, it's content, ingredients, cooked ingredients. I don't know what that is, but oh, some peas over there. Yeah. So Winner's just air punching. Piddock is running around, and Speed is being really slow and shouting about alcohol. There's definitely some programs need to be ran here. In fact, as you can see now, we're running one. So Morgan has come in. You can see they are not having a good time of it there. Christopher Morgan, and you can see the rating there is sort of over that middle ground. Criminally insane, insomniac, and outbreaks. What does outbreaks mean? Checking that going up. Insomniac. Prisoner requires very little sleep. Is that what it really means? I think insomnia is you really want to sleep, you just can't. Or don't. Not you just require very little sleep. Maybe I'm wrong. Been wrong once before. Anyway, outbreaks. The prisoner is prone to violent outbreaks and damaging the environment around them when feeling suppressed and untreated. Well, we're currently going through that program. And I don't know why it sounds like there's 2 shopping trolleys trying to fight outside. What's that going? What's that all about? Success chance medium, and oh, it is actually success. So you can see they are now being escorted to wherever. What's happened there? They've just stopped dead. Because they're prepping. So it looks like the orderlies take them and just leave them outside and waiting for the prep to be completed, and then they'll escort them in. Yes, that's exactly what happens. And I like the way that the orderlies stand outside as well and wait for that to finish and then take them back. I wonder what was that successful? Completed 2 times. Doesn't say if it was successful or not. Doesn't say there. Alcohol group therapy success. But we're not even running any group therapy around here. Or maybe we are. Alcoholics group therapy. Pharmacological shared. Psychiatrics. Alcoholics group therapy. Just common room shared. Oh. So if I add another one. And edit schedule. It's put in the common room shared. But if I change that to common room insane. We now have alcoholics group therapy being ran in the criminally insane wing in this common room. Probably in that corner there. That's good. That's good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to place some more things in here. We've got the bookcase. I don't think we need that. It recommends things that you just don't need in here. Leather chair. I mean, it's very nice, but it's also quite a lot of money. What I'm going to do is remove some of them. Just put them there. Ah, there you go. So, alcohol group therapy. They are teaching that. Apparently, he likes to teach from a distance. And apparently that guy has not worked out how to play pool. So, at least we've got some more treatment going there. Excellent. So, let's have a quick look at our rating. Reoffending rate has dropped to 6%. 101 prisoners have been released. Punishment is up to 8. Which I don't think that's moved then. So reform's gone up from 5 to 6, which is excellent. Security at 3 and health at 0, but that's as probably good as we're ever going to get, really. 1 prisoner escaped, 3 deaths in custody. Staff fatalities is the 4, and the prison value is 400,000 generic units of currency. The steel footbridge still doesn't work as intended, but overall we are doing quite well. 100 prisoners currently in the facility. We have now got a total of 4 fully functional cell blocks with all of the facilities to the side of it. So your common room, your yard, your canteen. We've got now the added extra solitary, which means that the security, actually, yeah, punishment should probably go up now because we're handing out solitary rather than just the lockdown. Overall, I think we are doing quite well. I wouldn't say that this facility was ever failing, but with the issues with the footbridge and the bugs and just the added difficulty with dealing with the criminally insane inmates, we were having a couple of challenging times, but I think we are doing quite well now. The grading and metrics say that we're doing okay, and it feels that way too. So we're going to leave it there. Next episode, we will probably build the protective custody because that just allows us to get more prisoners in. Because anyone that has a trait, we can move over there. Not that at any stage during this game have we really needed it, apart from when we had that legendary prison. Were they legendary? I don't know if the prisoner was legendary, but they had a lot of traits. There might have been. I just can't remember. They sort of slipped through the cracks, as it were. And, yeah, that's what we had. And that was the only time we've really needed it. But we'll get that built. This area here, which we originally said that we were possibly going to have it as a workshop, we might do that. Although, what we could do is have this as the workshop instead. Let us know what you think on that one, whether this should be the workshop or this should be the workshop, or whether we have a workshop at all. I'm not committed to the idea yet, but I think it could be a decent thing to do. This area, we currently don't have any purpose. These areas we do need to build, which eventually will become the psychologist, not the psychiatrist. The psychologists... Sorry, psychiatrists are here, psychologists over there. We do need a couple of areas for the psychology and stuff, but we don't really need it this size. What we might do is build a little morgue here because we should really have one for the infirmary. But there's loads of things that we can do, and we are far from complete, although we are definitely over the halfway mark now. Also, I think security would be quite a good thing, specifically automatic door openers on a couple of places, mainly at the sort of front area here, and it's nice to see them actually going the right way out, and something on there then. Yeah, and probably maybe a phone tap to find out some of the traits. But we will see how we get on. As always, hope you have enjoyed the video and the series thus far. Comments in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.